Hey everybody, me and Jason. This is Spectral Sailor. How's it going tonight? We are going to interview. Go ahead. Hey,
And what's up, guys?
there's Dawn. Hey Dawn. We're going to be interviewing an artist that we met named Adam Conklin, and myself and Jason went to a horror fest in Oklahoma and met him there and got some artwork from him actually. So we're going to be asking him about some different some paranormal experiences he's had and some art that he's done that caught our eye because he does a little bit of all kinds of art, but he has some horror genre and kind of dark art too, which was really cool, and that's what me and Jason really were drawn to. So, why don't you tell us when did you really start, Adam, being interested in doing art?
Well, first of all, hello. Thank you for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. Um, I started drawing when I was really young, probably about 5, maybe even younger. Uh, Gave it up when I discovered music, and music was my life, and played guitar 24/7 basically. Um, and about 5, almost 6 years ago, there was a local convention for a comic book shop out here called New World Comic Con, and for New World Comics, and showed them some of my art and said, do you think I'll do well? And they agreed. They told me, yeah, jump in on it. And my first show, I made a nice profit and thought, you know what, I can start pushing myself to do artwork. And it's been going ever since, trying to get better and better each time.
I went ahead and shared this on your page right now, so if anyone from your page wants to
Thank you.
follow or they want to jump in, they can. Hey,
Thank you. Yeah, I
Ronnie.
heard some vibration going off. That's why I turned over to look.
Hey, Linda. Hey, Ronnie, and hey, Dawn. How are you guys doing tonight? I'll post the comments up here because I don't think
Oh,
that you
thank you.
you can see some of them. Right? Can you see them?
I see. I saw a little box pop up that says "Hi, Rosie."
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, we
Ronnie
have.
saying, "Hey, Don,
7 people watching right now.
how you guys doing? Thank you for joining."
And Adam isn't a local artist. He is from Oklahoma. And we love
Well,
having local
I
talent
I,
in here.
I reside in Oklahoma. I'm from Los Angeles,
Okay.
born and raised. Sorry,
Okay.
but
No,
yeah, I've
that
been here
probably
for a
makes
while.
more sense. Yeah, why you're very artistically inclined.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I missed the West Coast. It was beautiful.
Oh, I second that. Yeah, Florida and California,
Yeah,
both. I love them. So, did you bring your inspiration from California with you?
yeah.
Is there more inspiration there?
My big inspiration that came with me from there was mainly music at the time.
Mhm.
I lost a lot of what I had growing up on the move. We ended up moving when I had just turned 19, and my grandmother who raised me passed away. Didn't have a job yet. I was trying, but it was very tough out in California, and ended up moving out here with my cousin, and have been here ever since.
That's awesome.
Thank
So
you.
I was going to say what brought you to Oklahoma, but you answered my
Yeah,
question. Because I have a lot
yeah. I
of
was
friends that live here from California, and I'm like, why did you end up in Oklahoma?
Surprisingly, it's a very good place to save money or raise a family because my daughters and everything. I doubt I would have been able to provide for them as much as I have living out in California.
True.
I'm saying hi to everybody. You have
Hmm.
questions, Jason? I'm going to say hi to everybody real quick.
You good. So, you had you talked about the music and everything.
Hmm.
I'll go that direction for a second. What was kind of like your style? What was your influence in music?
Well, I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. Nirvana. I grew up in the '90s, so grunge and industrial was my bread and butter. I also love a lot of alternative. What I would create actually though was what I coined as coffee shop rock.
Hmm.
A long time ago. It's like alternative, but a little bit harder than that, and it was just whatever came to mind. I wrote. Sometimes, like I recall one band practice, we were interviewing a new bass player, and we were playing a song when he showed up, and we got done, and he was like, "Oh my God, that was really good. When did you write that?" And I was like, "Right now." I ran over to my notebook and just started scribbling down the words that I had sang, because I was like, it wrote itself right now, So it was just a lot of what came to mind. But I venture more towards acoustic and alternative acoustic stuff now.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So when you finally, like, you just kind of realized that that art was the way to go?
Sorry, say again. You muffled out a
When
little bit.
when did you realize that art was the way to go? Really, like, when you're just like, yeah, this is it, and like, I mean, I'm sure you still play though, right? I mean,
Yeah. For me, it's more of I've always kind of had many interests, so I feel like if I need to, I'll create some music. If I want to create art, I create art, and it just when it at the time when that convention came around and I jumped in on it, me and my family, we were going through some pretty tough financial times, and it really showed that I can do something with my talent that can also be fulfilling for me to create art, and then also help supplement our income.
right.
Yeah. It's always good to do something that you actually love doing and making money at doing that.
Yeah, it's been a big help. Like there's a lot of times when we've had a bill come in, and luckily I get a commission and it pays it, and feels like I don't have the bill. So I'm like, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
When you're where do you get your more I guess your more profit from? Is it more like more people wanting something specific, or is it like the cons and stuff like you've gone to?
The I was really surprised this last year, 2020. I had it written down on my schedule as the year that sucked, but every show I did, actually, I did great at. I People were starved for it. Um, a lot of times that can be the major profits. Uh, Commissions I had, like, if I push them out really hard and I'm really pushing it to everybody, I can break in commissions. And I think last year, in 1 month, I think I pulled in around 700 for just commissions, which was amazing for me.
That's pretty
It
good.
was like the first time that ever had really happened. So little by little, I'm getting more information and data collecting that shows me that maybe I could possibly do this full time and turn it into, the way I could support my family and fulfill myself.
that'd be awesome if you could.
Yeah.
Everybody's screaming. Someone said they thought you looked like Jonathan Davis, which is really
Thank you.
funny.
Thank you, fellow
'Cause
Adam.
I love Jonathan Davis. Did you know Jonathan Davis has a small paranormal museum of his own?
I know he loved Geiger because he has the Geiger microphone stand. And
Yeah.
speaking to Adam, I actually used to do a cover of Blind, so with my band.
Oh
So yeah,
gosh,
I can mimic a little bit of his scatting that he does,
that's
the
cool.
raucous scatting.
Good evening, Penny. How are
Okay.
you?
Hey.
Um, so I was going to ask you, is there any specific artists that when you were growing up, or like comic book
Oh,
artists, or anything that really inspired you a lot to want to do what you do, or inspired you as far as your style goes?
that is a very long-winded answer, but I have some tops. So, um, classic art. I'm a major love. I have a major part place in my heart for Salvador Dali. I love his work. Uh, he's an amazing artist, and to
I
be
love him
honest,
too.
recently I'm going to be doing some research about this other artist that I just saw on Netflix documentary about Sukowski, which was some amazing art. It was mind blowing, and I'm going to be doing some research. I just saw that, and so like classic art, it was Salvador Dali was what was doing it for me. Comic book, I had a lot more exposure to when I was younger, and I learned to draw from the 1990s Marvel comic cards and the Jim Lee cards. So like Jim Lee was a major influence in my art. Adam Kubert, um, and the top three are Jim Lee, Adam Kubert, and Mark Silvestri. I love their styles the most, and then Arthur Adams is a huge one as well. And I've been, to be honest, another reason why I do conventions is because I try to head to shows where I can meet the artists that I love and I get to
Yeah.
meet them, do the show, get to go get some things signed by them, get to meet them and thank them for their inspiration.
Oh, if someone had a comment for you, well, one of them was awesome dude. That's awesome dude for your vocal skills with, Jonathan
Thank you.
Davis-esque vocal skills. And then he said he had no idea Jonathan Davis was into that stuff. Yeah, you have to look him up. Adam said like after his wife had passed away, I guess he just became more interested. I don't know if he had paranormal experiences involving her or whatever, but I think that's when he started becoming more because obviously you can tell he always had a dark personality.
Yeah.
But he became more into paranormal and supernatural
I'm really
stuff.
sad to hear about that. I did not realize his wife passed away. That
Yeah,
is heartbreaking because I remember seeing a lot of interviews where he talked about how much in love with her he was. That's
yeah.
pretty heartbreaking.
But it's better than the latter. I mean, some people kind of just lose it when their significant other passes away, but he sought her after life. Does that make sense? Like after
Yeah.
her life, he sought her still
Yeah.
to know her.
To be honest, that piece that you received is
Yeah.
is I lost someone that I loved, and they have not left this plane of existence, but I lost them, and that piece is called C'est l'amour, and it was a tribute to my love for them, and in some ways I feel like that will never go away, and it was hard to actually be proud of that piece again, but little by little, I'm reclaiming it and saying, you know what, I did this work. I made this. I painted it, and it won because I put in that work for it.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's mine.
It's kind of like putting your pain onto a surface and actually displaying it and knowing others liked what you went through and you displayed with that struggle in your life or whatever.
Oh,
That's
like
how I see it, I guess.
you just helped me remember a major artist that really influenced me growing up was James O'Barr, The Crow. Uh, and in the same vein, he created something that has touched millions of lives,
Yeah.
and it was born out of just just terrible tragedy in his life.
Is that the comic
And
book artist?
yeah, he
Okay, I didn't know his name. Yeah. That's awesome.
his name's James O'Barr, and he created The Crow because his love the girl he was in love with was killed by a drunk driver, and it's sad that it's the thing that made him famous, being able to, or being shown that over and over again, like, oh my god, I love your work, and it's like, yeah, I made that because I was in terrible pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really liked that piece. I liked it a lot, and I was like, I would imagine that Rosie would like that like a lot too, and so it's just something that stood out to me. And
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very proud of it. I actually had to paint it 4 times. The fourth time was the charm. The first time I had an original pencil sketch of it. Actually, I'll show you real quick if you don't mind.
That right. Yeah, Linda just said I'm partial to pencil work. Just saw your
Awesome.
Instagram collection.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
She
like
looked at
this is
Instagram.
the original pencil piece for that painting. And
I like that too a lot.
yeah, that was the original concept for it and everything. And I've tried to keep it. And when I first created the painting for it, I went in too dark with like black or something, and then the second time I did the colors incorrectly, and the third time we had our cat at the time walk across in my art room, walk across it in yellow in the white dress, and I was like, fuck. Oh, pardon my language. I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
That's
I should
okay.
have asked about that.
Sometimes we accidentally slip them.
Sorry about that. But I was just so angry about that. But the fourth time is what it needed in order for it to win. So.
wow.
Sydney said, "I love that piece," and Linda said,
Thank
"I
you.
find your pencil work more expressive."
Thank you.
Somebody's already checked out your stuff.
I to be honest, I started off with a lot of black and white. Is what I feel like I'm not great at coloring, but the beginning of my art when I was younger was always black and white pencil or ink. I a lot of times would just start off with just ink and have no practice lines or whatsoever. And then one year I just thought I'd try out watercolor, and my second watercolor piece won second place at the state fair. And so I was like, I think I should move into watercolor.
Yeah, it's a good inspire or a motivator.
Yeah,
Um, Ronnie said the man that made Marvel is a god of art. Wish he was still around.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, they're amazing. Uh, it trips me out every time I think about the beginnings of Marvel. If you guys ever get a chance, they have some great documentaries about Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, and even Chris Claremont, who was the man who brought the X-Men from being almost canceled or being canceled to its full-fledged popularity in the 90s.
Yeah.
Huh,
You
I
know,
have to-
I don't want to put down Marvel or anything, but I was more of a DC guy because I love Superman and of
Yeah, yeah.
course and
Hey,
Batman. But
to each their own. I'm a huge Batman fan. I love him because I feel that he's the epitome of the human or the extent of human potential. He pushes himself to be the best at everything he can be, which is amazing. You know, if we all did that, imagine the world we would be in be
right.
insane.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. So
Hey
I want
Jeremy,
to.
there's comments for him.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's why I was interrupting them. Stan Lee is phenomenal.
Yes, he was.
I miss
I got to
Stan
meet him
Lee.
once, and
Oh, what?
it it was near. It was towards the end though. There was a show down here in Dallas called Marvelous Nerd Year's Eve, and I went down there with my ex, and I took. I'm a huge Wolverine fan, and so I took my this Wolverine comic I have to get him signed, and it was very mechanic or assembly line kind of feel. He didn't seem like he was in the best of spirits. I was lucky enough to realize that I'm left-handed, and I noticed that he was left-handed too. I never knew that, and so I was like, "Oh, you're southpaw," and
Hmm,
I got him to look up from signing stuff to look at me and like kind of give me a nod. So I was like, "Yeah, yes, okay, I made a
that's
connection."
awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually saw Stanley too. I saw him in Dallas
Oh,
at that what they call it, a fan expo or
oh
fan
yeah,
day.
Fan Expo Dallas.
Yeah,
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 that's
I
a
saw
great
him there.
show.
Yeah,
I've done that show twice, and I got to meet Jim Lee, one of my favorite
oh
artists,
yeah.
and I actually got him to check out my daughter's work. My oldest daughter, she's
Oh, wow.
if you think I'm good, you will be interviewing her sometime soon because she's
Hmm,
already surpassing my talent levels.
that's cool, man.
Yeah, that's
She's
exciting.
amazing. She blows my mind every time I see her painting something or drawing something. It's pretty awesome.
Mm. So yeah, when we were talking about your pencil stuff, I sometimes it seems like I lean towards that a lot more too. I like the pencil
Yeah.
artwork. I really do. I like the way you can just the shading and stuff and everything can be done with a pencil.
Or
And then
charcoal too.
yeah, charcoal. It's always stood
A
out to
lot.
me.
Yeah, I was actually talking with an artist named Ashley Witter, and she's a phenomenal artist as well. And I was asking her about digital programs, and I guess she may have just been like a little too what's the word, bombarded with questions about art and whatnot. But I asked
Hmm.
her about hey, what do you suggest to get better at digital art? And she was like, get perfect at charcoal on newsprint paper. And I was like, oh. She's like, if you do that, you'll be the best at everything. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I
And I
could see
love,
that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love pieces like that because you can you can do so much with it. It's just it. Even though you're dealing with two tones of color, you can express so much in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to start out with digital art having a black and white anyways and learning,
Mm-hmm.
like the shape, the form, and then the shading, and then add the color later. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, I could see where she was going with that.
Yeah, digital. I just started touching digital last year, and it is a whole nother beast. It is
Hmm.
crazy and different and pretty interesting to learn a lot of different tricks and whatnot. That if I'm coming up with t-shirt designs, it's a lot easier for me to do rather than having to paint it and then scan it and do all that. And I can just come up with an idea and do it 100% and knock it out right away. Uh, that way, sometimes in my mind, when I have an idea for a piece of art, it can feel like it's a roadblock for another piece I'm really wanting to do. And so
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I need to get it out. I just need to get it done and get it out of the way. So tossing it into digital really helps me get that out of the way quickly and focus more on the
A lot more
story.
people are going to digital. It seems like I've seen a lot more like offering and like like different artists offering different kinds of digital art than I've ever seen before ever.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's people who will do commissions for $5. They'll do commissions for 15, 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it both helps and hurts because it can help a lot of people, get
Mm-hmm.
business that they want, but then it also drives people to seek out that lower amount all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, some artists charge more. Some like, I got family to feed.
Yeah, I can see that.
I actually ran into that same issue, and in this, I wrote a children's book, and I have it illustrated, and I'm in the process of that right now. But it was the same. I kept running into those comments a lot, where people were saying the same thing about trying to find the cheaper route to go when you can pay somebody that actually to do it, like you said, feeds the family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the title of the book?
The Little Ghostly Ghost.
I like that.
Yeah, I haven't. It hasn't been completed yet, but it'll be on Amazon. So
I'm gonna read some of the comments real quick because they're stacking up.
Oh yeah, sure thing.
But, they're all awesome. I think he's talking about Batman, and someone had said something about Venom. I loved Venom. I didn't know anything about Venom. I never was a Venom fan until the movie came out. I'm not gonna lie. Before the movie came out, I really didn't know the backstory or anything.
Well, we're gonna pause right there. Only because the movie was good. I appreciate the movie. I think it was, as a standalone origin story that's non-canon for Venom, was good. Was great.
Mm-hmm.
As a Spider-Man original origin storyline for Venom, it was not.
Yeah, that's what I did the research for, though, is I saw the movie and it inspired me to actually want to know more about Venom and like the other Venoms, the other different versions of Venoms and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like Anti-Venom and all the other ones. And I didn't know any of that stuff before the movie came out. So in essence, it was a kind of a good thing I watched the movie because I wouldn't have known that stuff at the point.
I'm looking forward to
at this point, I guess.
Woody Harrelson playing Carnage, because if you've ever watched Natural Born Killers, he is Cletus Cassidy basically in that movie. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they write him for that.
That'd be really a good part for him.
Yeah,
he's always a bad A.
Yeah.
I hope I wasn't too overbearing on that. I'm a stickler for a lot of the storylines and not the movies. So I'm like, oh no, the storyline's so much better. Hold on.
Adam said, I just got a 6th Batman tattoo the other day.
Damn. That's so cool.
Pretty crazy, but that is cool, yeah.
Wow.
Jeremy said, I miss his cameos in the movies. I think he's talking about Stan Lee.
Yeah, he was. Supposedly, they are in talks with Ryan Reynolds. I keep on seeing more and more that Ryan Reynolds will be taking over the cameos for Stan Lee.
Oh.
I'm hoping. It'd be sweet because they kind of had some connection there too.
And Linda said, I remember watching early movie theater, like the early Batman black and white movies. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Well,
Venom was a cool one of the dark nature and off-world being on Earth.
Yeah. I always liked that too, that it was a creature from another planet. They're doing a big storyline that's been going on for the past few months, almost a year now, that they're the King in Black, Null, Knull, has come back to Earth, and it's supposedly a worse villain than Thanos was for everybody, and he's like the leader of the symbiote planet.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about when we talk about comic book movies and stuff is like it seems like they always got to go back to origin stories. Like we know how Batman's Batman, we know where Superman came from, we know all that stuff, but they tell it like all over and over.
But kids don't know that.
I was about to say I can touch
we
on
grew
that.
up knowing that, but teenagers and kids.
Yeah, a big reason they do that is it was a story about Stan Lee and when he was writing comics. And at the beginning of every issue, they would write small little snippet of this person is this person and this is where it came from, and they were like, why are you doing that? And it was because he stated every comic can be somebody's first comic ever.
Yeah.
And you know,
And
and
it
if you
always can be that
introduce,
way.
yeah, you give a small introduction about what happened and why they are the way they are, then you give a little bit of a rapport, and if the character or the customer is interested, they can, you know, pick up the other issues that really dealt with those beginnings and origins.
Yeah, I guess maybe I can see it more in actual comic books, but
You need to buy more children a comic book, Jason, and then you would know this. Hello. No. I buy kids comic books all the time as presents, and seeing their eyes because they've never seen a comic book ever, and seeing their eyes when you give them this, and they're like, "What is this?" They know it from movie. They know it from a movie, but they don't know it from a comic book, and it's crazy because I grew up collecting comic books, and they've never seen one.
I wish my girls were more into comics. My daughters are more into anime and manga, and they love the superhero movies. We've always gotten to go see them, and they, you know, I always show them like old clips of other movies that I liked when I was growing up, and I was like, this is why I love the new movies, is because they can finally make it seem like these people are real. You know, like I grew up with the old Spider-Man with the white rope coming out of his wrist for webbing, you know, and Captain America looking really bad.
No,
I'm going to read a couple comments because we have more new people in the room. Linda said, I am very happy for you pursuing your art. Such a great outlet, too. Totally agree.
Thank you, Linda.
Digital art is such a pain to learn at times, but it feels so good when it turns out well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still very much in the learning process.
And that was from Jeff. And Ronnie's tired and can't type. And Jeff said, Carnage.
Yes.
We were talking about Carnage, yeah.
I'll show off some pieces real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're talking about Spider-Man, Venom, and Carnage. Like, this is a piece that's been a customer favorite for a long time.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like the side of it, like how it has the I don't know what you call it, like, you know, the essence that was the life of him. Yeah, the symbiote, yeah.
And then that guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. That's Carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Venom.
Thought I'd toss that for him since he was commenting about him.
Oh, Philip said, I'm waiting for a decent Toxic Avenger. Amen to that. I keep seeing advertisements for it and like rebirths of it, but I'm like, how?
I tried watching that the other day and I was like, oh my God. Like, this is, because I remember liking it when I was a kid and I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool. And then watching the movie as an adult, I was like, whoa, I should not have been watching this when I was a
kid. Right. But
yeah,
sometimes
like
when you're a kid, you don't remember some of that stuff. You just remember like, I don't know. I guess you block it out for like survival purposes. I don't know. I don't remember anything bad about it when I was little.
Also, a lot of those things weren't, you know, what you, weren't focused on. You know, the kids who wanted to see the hero wanted to see the hero parts.
Yeah.
You know, so all the other stuff was just filler for the cool parts that we were looking for. But yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, there's a lot of very mature content in the movie, and then just some really messed up stuff going on to people.
Kind of like Deadpool, I
guess. Yeah.
So you're talking about.
I remember liking it though. So I have toys of it. I know that.
You talk about upcoming movies like different comic book movies and everything, but you know, to me, like, you know, being raised in the '80s and stuff, you gotta love He-Man. You know, you gotta love those kind of stuff.
Like
that.
Yeah, He-Man. I actually watched a documentary on He-Man as well, and found out that they created that mainly just to sell toys.
Right. Yeah,
and,
that's what it was about.
It was pretty cool that it came about just from a want for making toys.
Yeah, they're making a new movie, so it's going to be interesting with technology, like you're saying earlier, to do a movie like that now. You know.
And I mean, I really loved the Masters of the Universe movie, the Dolph Lundgren one. I know it flopped. I know a lot of people hated it, but I really loved it as a kid. I thought it was awesome. I thought they did a great job with Skeletor. And that actor.
No, I can't wait to see Skeletor.
Yeah, in the documentary, the actor who played Skeletor was really wanting to push his lines and make it, you know, a very impactful character.
Yeah, his name was Frank something. I can't remember his last name, but
I can't remember. He's been in a lot of things I like watching.
Yeah.
I can't remember though.
But you know, they had the perfect guy.
Langallo or Langallo?
Yeah, start with an L. Yeah.
He was in some more animated things too, like as far as cartoons and stuff. He was some voices of other characters and some other.
Yeah.
I want to read some of the comments. I got to keep up with him. The tech side of digital art is improving. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's He-Man and Skeletor. And Battle Cat. Yeah.
If I can get it to work right. There we go.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it is. I like their swords.
I did this as a commission for somebody, and touching it up with digital is very fun to make things shiny. I like making things glow and whatnot, and what I haven't mastered yet doing in painting yet. You know.
Someone said your Carnage and your Spider-Man pieces were sick, as in good. And a new Toxic Avenger ?
Yeah, I haven't heard about it, but that would be oh god, the Troma movies. Ugh. That was like one of the only movies that ever made me feel like gagging when I was watching. I watched some Troma movie. I can't remember which one it was, but oh man, they can make some disgusting movies.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you, being in Oklahoma, what do you think people really kind of look for and request most from you as far as like an art piece?
In an art piece?
Yeah, just being like, I mean, more, you know, a lot of people around here are more kind of like cowboyish, you know, like you're talking about Tombstone and things like that, you know.
I think it depends on each person. To be honest, the things I've seen move when because to be honest, I'm starting off by myself. I've done shows at craft fairs. I've done shows at swap meets. I've done, you know, anything. And to be honest, most stuff I see move when I'm in those settings that are not garnered towards, you know, Marvel or DC or pop is just the most iconic items like Spider-Man, Batman. You know, there was one piece that I did out in a show I did out in Tennessee, in Knoxville, and I had and this, your question just made me think of this interaction. This woman was probably mid-50s to 60, and she passed by my table and she saw a painting I didn't even have on display. It was just behind my table and just kind of peeking out. And she was like, "Can I see that?" And it was a painting of Daredevil. And she was like,
that's awesome.
She was like, "I really like that." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." You know, and she was like, "Would you? How much does it go for?" And at the time, I really need money, so I was like, "Make an offer." And she was like, "Oh, you won't want it, my offer." And she offered me like $100, and I was like, "You know what? You really like it? Go for it."
Yeah.
And she was the funniest. It was, to this date, the funniest interaction I've had, where she was like, "Can you write down a small synopsis of the character on one of your business cards, like who he is, where he comes from?" And her friend that was with her, who was of equal age, just goes, "Oh, Gladys, you can just Google it." And it cracked me up. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so awesome."
It was a lot easier to have you to do it though, right there. Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I can help people learn about the characters that I'm wanting to paint and whatnot, I will, 100%. Like, whenever people are like, "Oh, I like this movie or that movie," I'll tell them, "Oh, well, read this comic because that's what inspired it," you know, and try to get people to see the original content that's inspired what they wanted or what they like.
So I feel like it also puts you in your art. You're in the art work because you know what you're putting on there, and you know the story, and you know like every droplet that goes onto the page more than just somebody that would just see it and think it's cool and start drawing it. You know.
Yeah. Actually, to answer your question a little further, thank you, Jeff Neal. Yes, Langala was the actor's name.
Yeah.
To answer your question a little further, the one thing that I've noticed is that when I make art, even when I'm making pop art and whatnot, comic or whatnot related, I make what I want to make. I don't really put out prints or put out pieces to garner what's the newest fad. So like, I don't have a Baby Yoda piece. I hardly even have like a Mandalorian I don't have any of the Winter Soldier or WandaVision. You know, it's just it hasn't spoken to me to make a piece for it,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
haven't done it, and that probably hurts me in the long run. But I feel like if I go to make something that's not truly what I want to make, you're gonna
Yeah.
see it in a piece.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I agree.
yeah.
So has anybody like asked you to make them? You talked about this earlier, but to make them like a crow piece at all?
What?
A crow piece? Have you actually done one?
To be honest, no, I have not. No, I've never got a commission for a crow piece yet. Um, to be honest, like when I create a piece of art for characters that are really close to my heart, it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
There are so many sketches that are half done in all of my sketchbooks that are of the Crow or of Wolverine, and they are just like barely started and quit on because I'm like, no, it's trash. I'm not going to move forward on that. And so it would be, I'd love to. I just hope I would be able to do it justice,
Yeah.
you know,
I can
because
understand.
it's very hard for me to put out a Wolverine piece because I have to do it right. I have to do it to where I'm like, yeah, that's my favorite character, and I did him 100% to where I want it, you know?
Like
Well,
Wolverine would see it and be proud of you, or like the
Yeah.
guy that played Wolverine would see it and be like, "Well, it's awesome."
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I did
The artist.
I did a comic book covers for Cancer. I did a few sketch covers for them.
Yeah.
They're going to be auctioned off at the beginning of May.
Mhm.
And one of the covers I did was actually signed by one of my favorite artists, Adam Kubert. And
Oh,
so it
cool.
was a blank cover with just his signature on it. And so I was like, oh my God, I need to do this, you know, as best as I can. And so the design I came up with, minus the X-Men symbol on this piece, is let's see if I can get it to where you can see it all. There we go.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it started
Oh,
off
it's
with,
nice.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's pretty
trying to
nice.
get it angled right. There we go. And now color. Yeah, so I have him with his wolf pack, and then
Yeah.
him as Weapon X, and then him remembering Japan. And I titled it Painful Past.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
where the red X-Men symbol was Adam Kubert's signature. And this is a digital touch-up of what I did since the original's off to be auctioned off to raise money for the American Cancer Society.
That's pretty cool.
But like,
I'm gonna grab some comments
yeah, go
Yeah,
for
good.
real quick, and then I want you to talk more about that. I'll be back for some coffee. I
it.
think it shows how powerful comics are. Movies produced by Marvel
Mm.
was Ace.
Hmm.
And a question for you. Do you feel it's important for the background story to be complete in order to finish a sketch?
With with me, sometimes I just will look at the page and just start sketching, and a piece will come out of that. Sometimes, if I have an idea of what I want, then I've never been good at actually really sketching up what I want and then refining it and refining it. This last year is actually when I started really doing that. And so my newest sketchbook I have like for that cover that I just showed. Actually, if you don't mind, I'll grab it real quick.
Yeah,
Just as
yeah,
a physical representation.
yeah. Oh, that would be cool. Gambit. Ronnie said, "Do you have any Gambit sketches?" I really like Gambit, the
Yeah, he was
character.
supposed to get his own movie. I guess that didn't happen.
Huh?
Gambit, there, he's supposed to get his own movie.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. Maybe
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a Gambit piece.
you do. Someone
Okay.
asked if you had a Gambit piece. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll show it in a second. But yeah, like this year or last year to this year, I really started. It's like there's this rough sketch of an idea that came to me, which was "Who's your daddy?" and I called it Daddy Pool, and
Yeah, funny.
it ended up becoming a piece. But like, I started actually keeping track of rough sketches and refining them to where
Yeah.
when I work on a commission or when I'm working on a piece, it's like Ah,
I love
got the
tracing
fan on
paper.
in here. You know,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
it's like the rough sketch was that one, and then refining it to here,
Yeah.
and then even a little further.
Just like a
Yeah.
comic book.
Yeah, just trying to make sure that when I produce something, I'm doing it as best as I can to my ability at the moment. It's like the Wolverine piece that you just saw. Oh yeah, there's a little bit more refined Daddy Pool.
Awesome.
Let's see. And I also do I do assignments for Marvel Weapon.
I have to
You're,
highlight this comment. You said, what did you say? He said, did someone say, who's your daddy?
yeah, it says "Who's your daddy" on there. Oh, Hoosier! I see it now. I like
Hoosier.
that.
That's where he's from.
Throwing your Hoosier in there.
Jerry's from the Hoosier State.
Yeah.
So, like the Wolverine piece was one where I actually sat down and figured out exactly what I wanted to do for it, and really put forth a lot of like. To be honest, this is a bunch of rough sketch.
Wow.
Cleaning it up.
Yeah, it is.
And then from there, getting. Let me move that out of the way. To getting a more rougher idea. Once I had an idea of what I wanted for the main piece, to doing the side section. So like I had already done this side of it. And then cleaning up and figuring out what I wanted to do for the background. You know,
That's
so
cool. I love me some tracing paper. I'm telling you, like whoever invented tracing paper, it's the best thing in the world to me.
it's been wonderful to utilize to refine my ideas. Because like once I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do, refining it is the hard part for me. And utilizing tracing paper has been gold to help me really clean up my line. Oh, he's looking for the Gambit piece.
Yeah, someone asked about a Gambit piece.
So I'll show you the two versions I have of it. I have the original, or the scan of the original piece, and then I did a digital touch-up on it. So
I think Gambit is just a very intriguing character. I'm like glad that they created him.
So there's the original
wow.
idea for it.
Yeah,
let me
that's good.
Try to get, there we go. Get rid of some of that glare.
There, yeah.
And then I did a touch-up with digital.
Oh, cool.
To make it to where the cards are glowing more.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to get the color in here. Let me see if I can help by turning on this. There we go.
I'm going to take that off of the screen for now while you're showing the pieces off, because that block at the bottom just kind of covers everything up.
Oh, sure thing. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. Get a little bit better of the color in there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Way different.
Yeah, like just touching it up a little bit has helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to angle that away a little bit. There we go.
So when you do those like that one, when you do one like the Wolverine, like how many hours would you say goes into that?
Quite a lot.
For that Wolverine one, that was one of the most stressful pieces I've ever done. Just because I was like, man, my art is going to be next to one of my favorite artists' name. Yeah. So I need to make sure I do it right. I think I put in probably about 12 hours in total. Maybe.
Did you feel like Salvador Dali?
Say again?
Did you feel kind of like Salvador Dali? Like a lot of people think he's mad, like he's crazy, but his art is just amazing. Like, did you feel like you were just kind of going mad because you couldn't like?
It was more just stressful. It was more just like, oh my God, I need to come up with a good design, a good composition to really, I want to frame it well. I want to make sure that I don't touch his signature, And so like trying to put everything in without messing up his signature was very stressful. Yeah. But I feel like it paid off. It came out, in my mind, it came out really good. And I'm hoping that it'll help raise a lot of money for the American Cancer Society.
Hope so, yeah. Everybody needs to go check that out.
Where are they going to raffle those at? Like, how can someone join in on like trying to what are they doing? Donation? You said raffling. So how can someone get a ticket to be in that
Oh,
raffle?
it's an auction. They're doing it
Okay.
through comic book covers for cancer. You can find them through CBC4C, and they're on eBay. I believe May 1st will be the start of the next auction run, which will actually have that piece in there.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll
I
have
wrote
that.
that
I'll
down.
have two pieces with them for that run. I have a Batman Who Laughs, and then that piece there.
I want to check that out for sure. You said May 1st, right?
Yeah, comic book covers for cancer. I've actually talked to them just this morning, early morning, that I'll be doing some more covers for them as well. So they have another one signed by Adam Kubert, and it's going to be a Ghost Rider cover. So I'm going to see.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider?
Yeah, and so I'm hoping I'll do well on it. Don't know if it's going to be a white cover or a black cover. I'm hoping it's a black cover, so I can kind of mess around with that and see what I can do with it. Because I've got a few older black covers from back in the day that I can practice on.
Ghost Rider is one of my favorite.
Hell yeah!
Really, I just feel like I totally relate to him.
I did a sketch card for. I do sketch cards for Marvel as well, and one of the cards I did that I was really proud of was a Ghost Rider piece. And let me find it for you real quick.
I want to pull up this person's comment too. Wonder if people will agree that Marvel movies are actually better than DC movies. DC movies don't fall in place to me.
That was my sketch cover I did for Marvel.
Wow. Oh my God. I love that.
Yeah, it's on a 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch card.
That's amazing. Do you sell those cards or was it for a raffle?
Those are they go into sets for Marvel or for Upper Deck. Sorry, wrong thing.
Did you say Upper Deck?
Yeah,
card company.
I get assignments to do sketch card sets for Upper Deck. Every now and then, like I started back in 2017, and when I got the email or the message on Instagram, I was like, "This is bullshit. He's lying." Oh, sorry, by my language. I told my buddy about it, and he was like, "What's the guy's name?" And he looked him up, and he was like, "No, he's on LinkedIn. He works for Upper Deck." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Here, what do you need? What do you need? Here's my email. Here's my address. What do you want?"
Crazy.
You know. Oh, thank you, Linda.
I bet you were a little kid when he said that.
Oh yeah, because I mean that was a childhood dream come true.
Yeah.
To draw for Upper Deck and Marvel, because I learned from those cards, and it was a bit of an eye opener on how much detail to try to put into a little card, and they're only 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, and it can be very stressful, and the timelines they give you are not easy. I think my first assignment I had 34 cards in a 2.5 week window, and that is doing the art, scanning them, sending in the scans, getting it improved, and then shipping them. You know, and so that's
a good deadline.
Yeah, a lot of their deadlines have been like that, but in the past year and a half, I had some really good contacts that I was like, "Hey, get it to me quick, and I can get as much work on it as possible." You know.
Right. So do you have any horror related sketches or anything?
Yeah, I've got a few pieces right here behind me. So these are my Dark Mermaids. So this is called Something in the Water. I'll try to get a little close up on it for you.
What's it called?
Something in the Water.
Oh, that's a cool name.
That's pretty cool.
It's just black.
Yeah, I love the water, the head thrown in there.
Yeah. And it's just black.
Like she's a siren or something, kind of.
Say again?
Kind of like she's a siren or something.
Exactly, yeah. My Dark Mermaids. Yeah. I've got that one called Something in the Water. And then this one's called Hiding in the Deep.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yeah. And this is some of them, just like, as you can see, my older pen and ink work. Just nothing but pen.
I like the kind of spidery, snaky look to her scale. The pattern of spidery, snaky pattern.
And then I did this piece that I really love. It's called The Last Embrace.
Oh, that's neat.
and it's all just a graphite piece.
I love that. That really looks like. I know you have like a hot topic
Mhm.
thing or whatever. That looks like something you'd see. Probably you could
Yeah,
probably
it's
put on
one of
one
the
of their.
designs that I submitted
Yeah,
on the website. Um, Other than
like
that, like
Black Craft Cult.
yeah, something you mentioned before about putting the that pain onto paper and having it be both cathartic and something people can relate to. That's what this piece behind me is
Yeah. I was wanting to know about that. I seen it.
and this is called Us Under Pain Team. And
Wow.
so it was a piece that really I needed to make, and
Yeah, I know what you mean. I
I
don't
made it
paint as
back
much as I
in.
used to, but like when I was in a really dark place in my life is when I've probably painted the most.
Yeah, and I made this back in 2018,
Yeah,
and it was the second I had penciled it onto the can, and it's also the biggest piece I've ever done.
Wow.
Um, the
it was
second I
pretty big.
penciled it, thank you. The second I penciled it onto the canvas, I immediately started feeling better already, and so I was like, okay, this is actually helping me a lot.
Therapy.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. It helped a lot. It helped me relax a lot more after I got that out and onto the paper or onto the canvas.
I was gonna grab some of the comments. Linda said the old Felix the Cat sketching software introduced using tracing paper,
Oh, that's awesome.
and your X Men is so vibrant.
Oh, thank you.
Adam is a huge a
Yeah,
nut,
I'm
comic book nut.
huge comic book fan. I love comics. My bookshelf is pretty much nothing but comics, and then I've got some like Dante's Inferno. I've got a giant book about
Yeah.
ghost encounters up here. A book of different bed and breakfasts
Hmm.
that are listed throughout the
That's
U.S.
cool.
that I really want to go to that have different ghostly encounters.
Yeah.
Hmm.
One of my newest commissions that I did for a customer is this piece that I'll be shipping out this week probably.
I
Wow.
saw that. That's amazing detail.
Yeah, it is.
I'm very proud of it. It was fun to do. And to be honest, this only took about 3 hours, 4 hours.
Oh,
What's his like history or backstory, or like what is like the origin of the drawing or inspiration for that?
The customer wanted a piece done for Ghosts of Tsushima. It's a video game,
Yeah. That's what I
and it's
thought.
the main character in one of the armor sets you can wear. And I asked him if it was okay if I could mix a helmet because that helmet's from a different set. And he was like, "Yeah, please do whatever you want." I was like, "All right, cool," because I
Yeah.
really like the antler helmet. I thought it looked really good.
yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a Wendigo.
Yeah,
Yeah, or like I don't know, I want to say like Hungarian or like I don't know. Maybe not Hungarian, but maybe Hungarian. I'm not sure. It just reminds me of like old Hungarian soldiers or something.
oh yeah, yeah. A Wendigo thing is a big influence in our house. My daughters like got into it.
Yeah.
Wendigo ideas with I think Until Dawn, that video game
Hmm.
from a few years back, and then they really like storylines that deal with that.
Yeah.
And just like we watched The Ritual on Netflix, and we all loved that. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
The
It's awesome.
Ritual?
Yeah, The Ritual on Netflix. It is amazing. And then
I think I've seen the artwork for it, but I was like, "Whoo, that looks cool. I want to check it out." But I didn't actually look and see what it was about or anything.
I looked at it I kept on passing it by for like almost a year. And one night I was up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep. So I was like, okay, I'll work and I'll put something on TV. And I tossed that on and I was like, oh my God, we need to watch this again. It was so good.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
That was my background music. No, I'm just kidding. My little one, he's getting ready to go to bed. Adam said Magneto is my favorite character from Marvel.
Nice.
And Renee loves Ghost Rider. Me too.
Hell
A
yeah.
lot. I really like
Me and
Ghost
Adam would
Rider.
be at odds because of the whole Magneto and Wolverine.
Mhm.
There's one of the most painful scenes I'd ever seen in a comic book was back in '94 when the adamantium was ripped from his body. But it opened up so much more about his storyline that they could write. So it was really cool.
Someone asked what book is it that you have about the bed and breakfast?
Oh, let me grab it real quick.
I know I try to keep my like some stuff behind me to grab, and it's a little
Well,
book.
this is to
You
be
can't
honest,
see it though.
this is our D&D room as well as
Mhm.
our as my art studio. So on the
No.
shelf over there, I've got Curse of Strahd, I've got Dracula books over there, and then on this wall over here, if I can get it to turn and look over there, I've got some paranormal and Edgar Allan Poe and Dante's Inferno on the wall.
That's
Interesting.
cool. I like Dante's Inferno and Poe.
One of my favorite books ever. The book is called Ghostly Encounters. It might be, yeah, okay, it's good. But I
It's
found this
even
book.
cooler because it's old.
Yeah, I found this book a long time ago, and there's a lot of great. It
America's
gives the
Haunted Inns
location.
and Hotels.
Yeah, and oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, and it gives a location, a state of where all these places are, so that way if you want to visit them, you can, and hopefully a lot of them are still in business. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome.
there's a lot of places I'd love to go and check out.
So that sounds like a good transition from art to paranormal. So you want
Definitely.
to talk about that, your paranormal experiences, and kind of
Yeah.
dive into that for us?
So the ones I've had, give me 1 second. Sorry, my daughters were on the phone, so I was
Hmm.
closing the doors here. I haven't had many, but I've had a few. Probably back around 2003. I was living with my cousin and his wife out here in Oklahoma, and they're known to have dabbled in things that they probably shouldn't have. And we, it was the middle of the night, and I've always been a night owl, so I was just up working on something or writing music or something. And I'm going to the bathroom, and as I'm getting to the bathroom, their cat comes running by me like full force into the bathroom. And I was like, what the hell, you know? So I hold the door open, and my hand is on the handle right up against the wall. And there's not much space between, the door and the wall, basically. And I'm telling the cat to get out. And as I tell the cat to get out, I hear from the doorway just someone whisper my name.
Oh.
And so I was like, get out. Just forcefully change the tone of my voice from get out to get out.
Yeah.
Just nope. I'm not gonna respond.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna respond to you. Um, and luckily, that was the last encounter I had at their house. Um, the other time was I was traveling back. I was back in LA, and I was with my daughter's mom at the time, or the mother of my daughters, I should say. And we were walking from the bus stop to our hotel room, and we passed by a high school that was one of the rival high schools to my high school called Don Bosco Tech. And it was 8 o'clock at night, 8 to 9 o'clock at night, actually. And at that time, I wasn't thinking about it, but most schools in LA are locked up completely. You're not allowed to be on the school grounds at all because of vandalism and kids being dumb and gang related, activity. And we see a kid waiting in the parking lot. And in my mind, I was just like, oh, some kid waiting for his ride, whatever. Keep on going. And we come back home to Oklahoma, or we come back here to Oklahoma, and I started doing some research on ghost stuff. I was on Ghost Network or GhostSomething.com. Can't remember what it was, but it was a website I used to be on a lot. And I read about a ghost story that encounters that have happened at Don Bosco Tech, and it was the people spotted the spirit of a boy who was hit by a car in the parking lot, and it hit me that I was like, oh my god, it was really late at night, and there would be no way for a kid to be sitting there just waiting in the parking lot, waiting for a ride. And so it really, gave me a good, nice little chill, and I was like, wow, I saw something that I didn't even realize was something at the time.
That's cool.
What school is it?
Don Bosco Tech. It was a boys' school in LA, like Montebello
Okay.
area.
There's a school. There's some schools in Oklahoma too. That's why I was asking that their people investigate sometimes some old abandoned schools.
Oh yeah, and the third encounter I had was out in Geronimo's grave in down in like Lawton, Fort Sill area.
Yeah.
And me and a few friends, we went out there middle of the night, and we had flashlights, and we were just in, to be honest, it wasn't really like ghost hunting or anything like that. We were just going to go enjoy walking around the cemetery. And something I do like to do is because I love gothic stuff. So while we were out there, I had my flashlight walking, and I was looking at the grass in front of me, and to my right, I hear an animal or something in the grass running. I can tell by the the gait of the sound of movement in the grass, and I have some pretty good reflexes, so I turn right away and shine my light at it, and not a single blade of grass is moving. Nothing. There was no movement whatsoever, and the sound was at least like 5 to 7 feet away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing, no indication of anything being there. So that tripped me out really well. I was like, wow, I wonder what it was,
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize too what you were talking about, where he's buried at down there and everything. So that's a interesting place, anyway.
Yeah, I did go to I just forgot about this actually, and just was reminded. I went to a sanatorium in Arkansas about 4 years back. And that was really interesting, but the group, I think, was just too large to really experience anything. They had like a group of 15 to 20 people, and it was just too much movement, too much commotion to really to feel anything, really.
Right. It wasn't in Boonville, was it?
To be honest, it's been so long, I don't remember. It was pretty big and popular. I remember that about the people who really wanted to go check it out. And you're helping me remember a lot, actually, because now I remembered that I went to the Queen Mary in LA.
Oh,
I always want to go there.
That's awesome. Me too.
It is amazing. If you ever get a chance to go, they have a thing called Dining with the Spirits. And you get a like a 4-star or 5-star meal, gourmet. The best steak I've ever had in my life was there.
Oh yeah.
And then after you eat dinner, you get a 2-hour ghost tour.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That I did have an experience there. Now that you're helping me remember all this, they take you on a guided tour, and they take you to some of their more active rooms. And this one area, they had it was a stateroom, like a regular room, and I turned as I was scanning the room, and when I looked into the darkness of the bathroom, I instantly just felt cold, and my body just chills through it.
Oh wow!
And I was like, think you might want to check that bathroom. And they were like, what? The main guy. Well, let's find out. And they took what are they called? The dowling rods. They started getting a lot of responses from, and it was both an older man, and the energy was not. And every time I looked away from it, I felt, when I looked in the bathroom, I could just feel that cold and chill go through me. It was crazy. Yeah. It was really interesting.
I've always wanted to go there. I've seen a lot of the documentaries and stuff on that the Queen Mary. I've been all over San Francisco a few times, and I've been to the Winchester Mystery House a couple of different times now. But
I do want to go there.
It's pretty cool. The last time I was there, who was it? Taps was there, and they were doing a thing, and so that was pretty cool. Got to see some of these guys.
I want to go to Hollywood.
Oh, we went to the Museum of Death as well, which was really amazing. If you haven't gone there, that was really cool. They have the preserved head of the last person to be executed by guillotine there.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh!
It was really awesome. I'm a macabre fan, so we.
Where's that at?
It was in Hollywood, the Museum of Death.
Is it? I thought I've seen someone go there before on YouTube. There's a guy following him and his wife do nothing but go to museums like that all over the world, and I think that they went there.
That's awesome.
I've seen the pictures of the gates of that place, but I haven't ever been there. But,
yeah, they have that big mural of the painted skull with the flowers. Yeah. The only downside to the Queen Mary was that I requested a haunted room, and I
Yeah.
had the best night's sleep I've ever had.
Oh, no.
They were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Are you sure you've had activity in this room and everything?" Yeah, yeah. We've had tons of people talk about that they have encounters here and whatnot. I was like, "All right, cool." And
Yeah.
I wake up to the gulls, cawing in the ocean, and I was like, "What the hell, man?"
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was the
no.
most peaceful sleep I've ever had.
Oh, man. That sucks, kind of.
On the water?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of times people can say they feel the boat moving, but it doesn't move. It's stilted. They've made it a stationary hotel, so it's on the water, but it is not going to be pushed by the tides or anything like that.
Yeah.
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say the expanse of it is crazy. When you guys do go, literally, the person I was with at the time, we were at the halfway point of the boat, and they were like, "Wow, this is so long," and I was like, "Okay, well, record. I'm gonna walk at a normal pace and record how long it takes me to get down to the end." And it was almost 2 minutes, and I hadn't even reached. And I reached our room, and I was like, "Okay, I think this is enough to record," because yeah, it's an expansive boat. It is crazy how big it is.
Yeah.
It is real big. Yeah. The Winchester Mystery House to give himself guided tours. Yeah. When I went, it was
Nice.
actually on a Friday the 13th, and it was a candlelight deal. So
That's
Oh,
awesome. That would be
last
that's
so
cool.
fun.
and it was cool. And somebody asked like about where the sanitarium in Arkansas was. It's in Boonville, Arkansas. If you want to look that up. So
Okay. Yeah, because I cannot remember. It's been about 5-6 years since I went, maybe, and a lot has happened in my life since.
She said, Linda said, I heard the voices of sounds, or the sounds of voices of men working at the Winchester.
Oh, that's crazy. I'd love to go there. That would be beautiful to visit
yeah,
Stonehenge.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
would.
that would be amazing. The I have you guys ever tried to go or gone out to the parallel forest?
Where's that?
We haven't
Uh,
been there. The suicide forest, that one?
the parallel forest
The
down
parallel
in
forest.
by Mount Scott here in Oklahoma.
Uh-uh.
No.
No,
I don't think I've
it's
actually heard of
it's a
it.
very cool, creepy area. If you want to go check it out, it's
Parallel?
yeah, parallel forest.
Huh.
If you go to Mount Scott, you'll find it. Basically, it's right near that area.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
being here at home.
I really enjoy going there. It's really cool. I've
They've
been wanting to take my daughters. I haven't got set up a day where we go down there one pretty soon. I've been wanting to take them.
Yeah, it's getting nicer outside, and things are becoming a little bit more light and like
Mhm.
positive since we've been all like basically living in a bubble for a while.
Yeah, yeah. One good thing that came out of it was we started taking up D&D, and I finally found something both my daughters like to do. So I was like, oh my god, finally something we all want to do and have fun at.
I started making soap, and I really
Yeah,
enjoy it.
that's pretty cool.
All kinds of special like artisan soaps, and it gets rid of my
Yeah,
anxiety. It helps with my anxiety. So,
hell yeah, that's awesome.
So like
What's your favorite scent you've made?
yeah.
my favorite scent. I usually make concoctions where I mix things together, but I really kind of like pipe tobacco right now. It smells amazing. It does not smell like you would think it does. It smells
Yeah,
really good. Yeah, pipe
that is
tobacco is
cool.
really good. Yeah.
I understand that. There's my cousin and his wife were pretty heavy smokers, and every now and then I'm like, man, I really wish I could smell a certain brand or this every now and then.
It smells like like you would think of like an old man sitting on a porch stuffing a pipe, like a corncob
Yeah.
pipe with tobacco. It smells like
Mhm.
that tobacco, like the raw tobacco with no filter
Oh
and no
yeah.
secondhand smell afterward, just the raw leaf tobacco.
Yeah.
It smells like, yeah, it's really good smell. It's very comforting for some reason. I don't know why.
My grandmother used to talk about Bugler Boy or something like that brand tobacco.
Bugler, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Bugler. So it said lavender. I do use a lot of lavender and a lot of vanilla, a lot of patchouli, eucalyptus,
Oh yeah.
mint, sage, all kinds of stuff. Yep.
So
Herbs.
What part of Oklahoma are you in?
I live in Yukon at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Home of garden
so
duck.
very central. Actually, I was gonna say that something I'm thinking about starting is the idea came to me this week, and I have a feeling that I'm gonna try to take it up. Is doing paintings of serial killers,
Yeah.
and possibly doing live streaming and painting, or releasing videos weekly or every 2 weeks or whatnot, and doing a painting of of a serial killer and telling about the story about what went on, what
Mhm.
they did, how they got caught, kind of thing. And
That's
I feel
interesting.
like that might be an
That is
aspect that
cool. One of the
I've
people
been.
I follow does makeup
Hell yeah.
and that, so that would be really cool. I think she does a
Yeah.
lot. She gets a lot of views.
Are you talking about Bailey Sarian?
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
her.
yeah. To be honest, that's kind of what inspired it. And
Hmm.
recently I've been doing a lot more portrait work,
Hmm.
and to be honest, that's what I started doing in the first place when after I learned to draw the comic book stuff from Marvel cards, as I would draw people. Like
Hmm.
different students would ask me to draw them, and so I was like, all right, cool, I'll draw you. And I found that even though I haven't tried to draw somebody realistically for years, I've still retained a lot of that, and
Hmm.
I think I'll probably start doing that. I'm planning on trying to start next weekend or this weekend coming up, seeing if I can come up with it, figure out which one I want to start with, and
You've already got requests.
what did I say?
I said it would be cool.
Ah,
If
nice,
you
yeah.
can see ghosts, you can paint them. I want a Manson one,
Ah,
and
yeah. See, that
Jack the
Nick was
Ripper. Jack the Ripper would be cool too. Yeah.
Well, that one would, I think, to be honest, I'd probably start with Jack the Ripper just because I could so much of it could be left up to interpretation,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
and
was thinking. Yep.
I think it'd be fun to explore a lot of the dark gray tones, blue tones, reds, and just kind of really come up with a good moody piece while I speak on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could even do multiple different like versions of Jack the Ripper because of what you're saying, like people's
Mm-hmm.
inhuman interpretation,
Mm-hmm.
or they thought that Jack the Ripper wasn't human, and then like the information and all of the people that like the investigators or whatever, the police that followed the case and tried to figure out who Jack the Ripper was, and any
Mm-hmm.
like information that they had of what they
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
Jack the
definitely.
Ripper would be like.
The Bunny Man. Who's the Bunny Man? I need to learn about that one.
The Candyman's pretty cool story too. You know the
Hmm.
Candyman story?
Yeah, I've heard of the Candyman, but the Bunny Man, which is somebody said that, I think.
Yeah, Renee.
I don't know what that is either.
I need to research that. I haven't heard of that one.
Also, Spring Heeled Jack.
Spring Hill Jack.
Yeah,
I've heard the
I
name.
read
I
that
haven't read the story yet.
when I was little. There was a small magazine that came out, and it was nothing but unexplainable stuff and paranormal stuff. It was a really small one. It was kind of like if Outer Limits was a little magazine, like a little book magazine. I can't remember what it's
Oh,
called.
nice.
And I don't remember the name of it. I need to find out what it was called. But there was a story on the cover. It said Spring Hill Jack, and that was probably one of the moments, like epiphany moment, where I actually started getting into like unexplainable and paranoid stuff, and just getting, I mean, not paranoid, paranormal,
Paranormal.
paranormal stuff, and getting intrigued by stuff like that. Is when
Hell
I was
yeah! Like
probably about
that
10
would
or
be
12.
interesting.
Yeah, and the
I,
story of Spring Hill Jack, scary.
One of the other things that inspired that idea for me was like the Bailey Sarian thing, and then I
Hmm.
was watching on Netflix, which a lot of times, a lot of my when I'm painting or drawing, I just throw something that seems interesting on in the background while I'm painting. A
Hmm.
lot of ends up being noise for me to just draw and paint to, but then sometimes it catches my ear, and it was about the Night Stalker, and his name was Ramirez, I believe, the last name,
Yeah,
and
Ramirez.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
Ricky
actually ended up
Ramirez.
being caught about 4 blocks from my house before I was like a year before I was born when I lived in LA. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like that really happened right near where we grew up. And my grandmother, when we grew up, was very protective of us, didn't let us go anywhere really. She was just worried about gang violence and about serial killers, basically. And so that really touched home. So I was like, you know what, that'd be an interesting painting to do. And then watching a little bit of Bailey Sarian because my girlfriend, she's really into it, and
Mhm.
I was like, I could probably do this but paint them,
Yeah,
and so I'm thinking I'm going to start up that series of trying to do
that's
that.
funny. One of our friends told me I should do that, and I was like, "What about like if I did?" She's like, "Do makeup videos," and I was like, "What if I just did makeup and I did paranormal stories or places that are haunted or like like
Yeah,
ghosts and their location that you can find them in the story about them and why they're there."
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically what I'm thinking about doing, and talking about the location of where it was, where it happened, and if people end up visiting those areas, that's awesome. And then I can also cite where I've read it from and where I found my information from.
I'm writing down the bunny man because I want to look that up
Yeah,
too.
I want to check that out.
Mothman or Bigfoot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
those would be cool too. Yeah.
uh, Bigfoot, everybody here is, in Oklahoma, so we're kind of surrounded by Bigfoot
Hmm.
lore.
Them
So,
there hills and mountains and woods.
I actually, I'm wanting to do a piece, which is a little late now, but it's still a piece that's been in my mind that I want to do, which is the Demigorgon from Stranger Things,
Oh my gosh.
and have it
I
in the
saw that
Bigfoot
one.
pose, the classic Bigfoot pose, but have it
Hmm.
dragging a child.
Oh
oh
my
yeah,
god. I saw
Or
the one that
Barbara.
you reposted that you said was one of your paintings and you had redone it, I guess, or you just reposted
Yeah,
it
yeah.
of 11 with the Demogorgon. Oh,
Hmm.
I love that. I'm a
Thank you.
huge Stranger
Do
Things
you
fan.
do you like the way it came out with the digital touch up?
Yeah, it looks
Awesome.
good. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I haven't touched on that for a long time. That's the big thing that the digital has been doing for me. The digital aspect is looking back at something I've done before and seeing if I can clean it up or add something a little bit more to it, and and revamp the feel for me. And
yeah.
it's been doing really cool. I enjoy it.
That's
I
what
haven't gone back and checked, but they were supposed to be releasing season 4 this month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, me and my girls, we need to catch up. I think we were still
Yeah.
in season 3.
You better
I
catch
like
up
to
then
see
and watch for the Easter egg at the end of season 3. In the very
Ah,
last
okay.
episode. Watch the last episode, just watch for an Easter egg.
Hell yeah.
I'm just telling you, I won't ruin it, but I didn't notice
I
it the
like
first
the
time. And I went back and watched
Mhm.
it and I was like, oh my gosh, how did I miss that?
I
See,
like the
we were caught up
local.
watching WandaVision, and we've been watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Invincible. Invincible is a pretty awesome comic storyline, and the Amazon Prime show has been so
Are you talking
awesome.
about Invincible, the original Invincible, the 3-part where they had the glass and all of them? Is that one?
Oh, you're talking about Unbreakable.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, never mind. Okay,
I
yeah.
love the Unbreakable movies. Like people give M
Yeah.
Night Shyamalan so much crap, but I've loved those movies, and I loved
Mhm.
The Village. I know it was predictable. I think he did well.
I
The,
think they
the
did
the
too.
downfall for me with him was Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I feel that was only because they tried to cram a whole season of
Yeah.
show into one movie. If they had
Oh,
tried to do it in like small blocks, they would have done so much more better, or so much better than they did.
yeah.
Signs was the best one.
I was gonna say Signs, and then
Signs
I
was
also
amazing.
like
Yeah.
the others. Signs and the others are really good
Uh,
too. But I really don't have anything I've seen by him that I've been disappointed with. So
yeah. Seriously, like
even
You
his
talk about
artwork,
Unbreakable.
he had a lot of art books that I used to when I was in high school. I used to go to Hot Topic all the time, and he used to have like
Mm.
comic book style art books of art.
You saying that about the artwork for that actually reminded me of one of my other major favorite artists in the comic world is Alex Ross. If
Yeah.
you have not seen some of his artwork, like for Unbreakable, the original movie,
Uh-huh.
the special edition, he did some small pieces of card artwork for those movies, and I love his work because he paints the characters as if they're people wearing the superhero costumes. You see
Yeah, that
the
would be
folds
cool.
in the fabric. You see the shadow of the mask over the eyelid. It beautiful, phenomenal work. If you've ever get a chance, the storyline is, and for you being a DC fan, Kingdom Come is the storyline. It came out back in the '90s or late '90s, early 2000s, and it was my first introduction to Alex Ross's artwork, and it beautiful. He makes the images look like they're glowing off the page.
Yeah,
Like one of the most talented painters I've ever seen.
like they're coming alive off the
Yeah,
page.
seriously. Like there's an image where a light is shining on a character and it feels like it's glowing. It's just beautiful.
Adam wants to know if he can see that ghost book that you have up there. He's really intrigued
Oh
by it.
yeah, sure thing. Let me grab it
I
real
think
quick.
he was wanting to try to find it, a copy of it. Adam's my dude when it comes to comic books.
It is it is a huge, huge freaking book. It's by Holzer.
It is Holzer. Okay. That
Yeah,
ghost book. He was talking
just
about that one.
just titled
I love
Ghosts.
Holzer.
To be honest, I've hardly cracked this book a little bit. I started reading it a long time ago, and it is a lot of information, just
He's
tons.
an extremely like intelligent person.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
great. Like I was like, oh my god, and I'm really happy that I've actually kept it. I've had this book for probably over 14 years,
That's
and
pretty cool.
yeah,
It's
I'm
worth
happy
a
that I've
lot
kept
more
it in
money now than it
pretty
was
good
when you
condition.
bought
Say
it.
again?
I said it's worth a lot more money now than it was when you bought it.
Really? Oh, I
Yep.
didn't know that. I haven't done any research on it in a long time.
Yeah, because of they opened the cases of Hans Holzer and made a TV show about it called the Holzer Files. Now all of a sudden,
Oh,
I had ordered some of the books before. I have one that I
uh,
really really like that I got, and now I'm seeing like a jump in like the price
the
of
value
that
for each
people
one.
are
Oh yeah.
asking for Holzer stuff, and I'm like, what? I knew that was going to happen though, kind of.
The one I really
You're
love
right,
that's
Adam.
in my personal collection. I touched on it earlier, and it's a book that inspired me a lot. Was Dante's Inferno,
Mm-hmm.
and this is it was a textbook version that I got when I was in college,
Oh well.
and it's beautiful art by Barry Moser.
Pen and
There's
what is
hmm?
it? It said pen and something. Pen and wash.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Pen and wash drawings by Barry
Yeah,
Moser.
yeah, Barry Moser. Beautiful artwork. It is insane. A piece I want to show you that always has inspired me, and it's like the background for my phone. Where is he?
I might be getting the Kindle version too, Linda, because I saw some of the books. I looked them up after the show kind of got popular, and I
Mm,
was like, "What? I'm not going to spend that much on a hardback book. I would
alrighty.
probably do the Kindle version too."
Yeah, Kindle versions are always nice because yeah, you don't have to worry about paying way too much on it.
You have a question. What digital tablet do you use for your artwork, Adam?
Oh, I use an iPad Pro and I use Procreate, and it was one of the most recommended by any artist that all the artists that I've met, like doing different shows and whatnot. And I I'd like been interested in doing digital for a few years, and I kept putting it off. And my daughter, like I was saying, she's been having art at my table for about 3 years now. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
about 3 years now, and she always sells art whenever I do a convention, whether she's there or not. Her pieces sell, and so
Ah, that's awesome.
she gets kind of her own allowance when that comes through. And one year, it was really rough, and she was like, hey, where's the money for this? And I was like, baby, I'm sorry. All the money that I've been getting from shows has been going to pay for us, to pay for bills, to pay for food. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And so when I finally I'd gotten a really good commission come through, I told her, okay, you know what? Here's the money, and this is what I plan on doing for you. And she was like, what? And I was like, I want to get you a tablet, an iPad,
Yeah.
and she was like, okay. I was like, all right. And so I ended up getting two, one for her, one for me, and my youngest daughter to use. And so she's been touching Procreate since then and going crazy and doing amazing things with it.
Which one do you have?
The iPad Pro. We both
iPad
have the
Pro.
iPad Pro, and we use Procreate, and it's been amazing. We have the iPad, the iPencil and whatnot.
I thought
The
about
piece
getting
of
into digital artwork.
the piece I wanted to show you is this one here, and it is just
Poe?
insane. Yeah, this is by Barry Moser in
Oh,
the Dante's Inferno book.
Yeah.
And this character, as he does this, says, "See how I tear myself,"
Mm-hmm.
and it always spoke to me. It was just
His eyes are
influential.
haunting. His eyes are just like,
Exactly,
yeah.
just hollow and empty. And this book, oh my god! Like I read this book in like an hour. I'd say I read this book in about 2.5 hours at the most, and from front to back. And that's
Yeah.
how much it was. I was just like, oh my god, I can't put it down. I need to finish this.
Mm-hmm. There's very few
Luckily,
books that I'm like that with, but there's a couple.
yeah, I was very lucky to be able to find another copy. The copy I had was actually stolen by an ex-girlfriend in California, and yeah, I was like, oh. So it took me about a decade, but I finally found one that wasn't too terribly priced and got it shipped out to me.
I
Did you
see
have
your
any,
comment, Adam. It said that's cool. How many pages was that book? The ghost book.
Oh,
Sorry, I should have pulled that
oh,
up
you're
when
fine.
in your hand.
Oh, how many pages was the big one?
Yeah, the
The
ghost
Holzer?
book with Holzer.
It is.
Sorry, she's
It
got the
is
Kindle version.
758.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's got a little bit more, but it's mainly his citing of other works. Yeah, 758
Yeah.
pages.
So several of his books condensed into that one. Then
Yeah, maybe. Let me see. Like I
sorry,
said, I haven't cracked this. No, you're fine.
I could
haven't
just
cracked this
look it
open in
up.
a
I
long
could
time.
Google it or whatever.
It says Ghosts, True Encounters with the World Beyond. And it's by Hans Holzer, author of the Great American Ghost Stories, Ghost Hunter, and Life Beyond.
Yeah,
It
he was.
looks like it's just chapters. I don't see any, like it being a collection of other pieces.
All right, awesome. Yeah, he also studied witchcraft and wrote some books about it and different other avenues of paranormal or like unexplainable, and spiritualism and stuff like that. And he was a psychical. He went to college for psychical research.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to have a Aleister Crowley book. I had 2 Aleister Crowley books,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, they were. I didn't realize what they were. Like when I picked them up, I was like, Aleister Crowley, I want to have that. And then when I cracked them open one day, I was like, oh, they were just like hardcore pornography. At the time, he had
Oh, gosh,
his
of
wife.
course.
At the time, his girl, the woman he was with, was really into things like that, and so he set about writing the most vile and disgusting type of pornography he could think of for her. And yeah, I did not realize that when I picked them up. I've since sold them.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. If I bought them and I thought they were like actually about like the spiritual experiences or like like the history of what actually happened with him, and I got that, I'd be greatly disappointed.
Yeah, I ended up. I sold them at a show called the Oddities and Curiosities Expo down in Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that show. It was in
I was
Oklahoma
gonna
this
say,
weekend.
I do have a list of things that are coming up. If I get to,
Yeah,
if I can
go
tell you
ahead
about
and
it.
say them. Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah,
tell.
this weekend coming up on Saturday, I'll be in Muskogee at a coffee shop called The Break. They're having there's a group of artists from Tulsa, OKC, Yukon, Muskogee area. We're called Ink Slingers, and we have a representative who set up a week-long show starting Saturday, going all the way to the next Saturday in Muskogee at The Break is the place. Pardon me. And then from there, I'll be going to be doing a show at OKC PopCon on May 8th. May 8th through the 9th, I'll be there. And I'll more than likely be at Lubbock Anime Con in June. And after that, Tokyo and Tulsa and New World Comic Con. Just a small.
Are those both in Oklahoma?
Yeah, Tokyo and Tulsa's in Tulsa, and then New World Comic Con. That'll be my 6th year anniversary of doing conventions. So that'll be here in OKC.
Hey, Bob. Can you tell everyone where they can find yours and your daughter's artwork?
Sure thing. If you go to my Instagram, which is Analog Art by Adam, all one word, you can see on my bio I have a link tree, and you can find my daughter's TeePublic page that I made for her, so you can see the different designs she's done, which she's amazing. Please give her a follow. Her Instagram name is at Zennen, ZENEN _IMI, and I'll see if I can update the link tree right away to add her link for her Instagram as well.
Can you say underscore the letter I?
Underscore IM as in Mary I. Yeah.
All right. I
Cool.
might
And you're
just message you and
on
ask you that
Facebook
later.
and everything too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, please.
Okay.
Yeah. And then don't you have some kind of like an account or whatever with Hot Topic or whatever, like
Oh
an
yeah,
affiliation with
sorry.
you?
It's been like in the background so much. I haven't tried
Yeah.
to push it much. Hot Topic. I worked there part time as well, and
Mhm.
I helped open the store in Lawton back
Mhm.
in like 2006, I think, or 2005, and they always have sales like every week. So I just kind of feel like I'd be, you know, bombarding the people who follow my page with,
Yeah.
oh, everything's on sale this week. Everything's on sale this week.
Yeah. I used to
Um,
work there too for a little while.
yeah, but if you go to hottopic.com, they have a pop culture tab, and you go from pop culture to creators and then
Mhm.
to artists. And my name is the first one, and it's Adam Conklin. And if you flip through there, you'll see both my art and my daughter's art. When I
Awesome.
submitted 10 pieces of mine, 10 pieces of hers, and all of them got approved. So we were
Awesome.
lucky.
That's such a good deal for her at the age that she's at to get a head start
Yeah,
on
at 15,
something she likes to
she
do.
was a published back to artist by a worldwide distributor. So she's also at one of the shows that I got to meet Jim Lee. I had him look at her artwork as well. Which Jim Lee, he spearheaded the amazing artwork of the '90s for X-Men, and then he helped spearhead and create. He was one of the founding members of Image Comics, and has since sold his company that he created, Wildstorm, back to DC, and is now basically one of the major big heads of DC art world. And I had him review her art and recorded it for her so that way she can hear what somebody who's been in the industry for years, decades, thought about her artwork. And
That's cool.
I'm trying to give her a leg up as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all the places everybody can find you at, right? And then unless you want to plug Facebook or anything like that, so.
Yeah, please, if you get a chance, check out my artwork, check out my daughter's artwork. If you have any questions or requests, I have a few commissions, but I've got a pretty open list of spots if anybody wants any artwork done. And I'm hoping, like I said, I'll try to put out my new series of creating some horror and serial killer artwork soon.
I think that would make a really good. Um, it would do really well. I think.
Yeah.
We
I
have a
just need to
ticker
get
down at
more
the bottom
comfortable.
also, huh?
Yeah, I just need to get a little more comfortable with the media of recording what I'm doing, because most of the time I just paint, and next thing I know the piece is done and I'm like, oh crap, I should have took some pictures or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're like extremely appreciative that you came on the show. I think it went really well. Everybody's been like interacting and had questions and stuff and liked the topic and everything. If you ever want to come back in the future and do another interview or whatever, like, in several months from now or whatever, if you want to come back on and show some more of your stuff and tell us some more about some of the things that you're talking about, your upcoming cons and stuff or whatever, you're more than welcome, and everybody's enjoyed it. So we thank you very much for being on the
Thank
show.
you. You guys have been my first interview ever, and I really appreciate that you even wanted me on here. Thank you very
Yeah, it went
much.
really well
Had a
too.
blast. I was a little nervous, but I really enjoyed this, and being able to interact with some people that I normally would never have gotten to meet. So thank you very much, guys.
Good night, guys. Everyone's saying good night, Ronnie. Good
You
night,
guys have a good
Fred.
night.
Good night, Dawn and Adam.
The beholder
Thank
says good night.
you. Everybody keep it creepy and come back and watch us next Monday.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.